Hi, my name is Lulu Lopez, and I'm currently interviewing my father, Johan Lopez. So tell me, how do you deal with stress in general?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. How do I deal with stress? I've over the years I've kind of learned to focus on what I can control and not worry about what I can't control. Because if I can't control it, I can't really stress about it. It's very important that I focus on the things I can control and kind of move forward. What I normally do is I try to put it on a list and just kind of tackle the easier projects first, whether it's in life and with finances, with work, with physical stress. Just kind of put it on a list and just put it all together and put it in a list in order of easiest to hardest, and also prioritizing what needs to be done, not what needs to be done now, to versus things that need to be done in a week or two, in a month from now, projects. So based off of that, if you start working on the easier things, it helps you kind of build momentum so that you can get the next project done, because you'll just check things off your list, check, and it'll move quicker. The list will be edited. I mean, sometimes I write on a piece of paper, then I have to rewrite it once I get a couple things out just to figure out what's next and what's important. And that's kind of how I deal with stress, just kind of controlling what I can control and not really worrying about things I can't control.
Can you break down your stressors?
Well, I kind of broke it down a little bit, but I'll break it down again. There's family stress, just trying to be there for family and just being around for that. It's financial stress, obviously, with bills and stuff. Work stress, with projects need to be done, and physical stress. I kind of try to put that on myself just to kind of get myself give myself a challenge so that I feel like I've accomplished something physically too as well.
What stresses you about family?
Well, family stress. It's almost like FOMO, fear of not being around, fear of missing out, but more like fear of not being there when I'm needed. I try to be there to support you guys as much as I can, and I don't want you to feel like I'm not there, and that sometimes can weigh on me not being there to help out, especially as you know, in my job, like from September to the end of March, I'm kind of working a lot, and I'm away sometimes, and I call and stuff, but it's tough. I want to be there and help out, and try to realize, hey, I may not be able to be there, but I can definitely make a call and let them know that I'm thinking of them, you guys, and that kind of helps me a little bit. But for the most part, if I can't be there, I can't be there. It's hard.
So, what was your biggest or first stress that comes to mind?
My biggest or first stress that comes to mind just in life, I think everybody feels this way, at least if you're a parent. Becoming a parent was a big stress. The unpredictability of just trying to figure it out. Nobody really knows how to be a parent until you're a parent. I mean, your parents can give you some guidance, but every journey is different. I mean, when you were little, mommy and I were young. We were 27. I was 27. Mommy was 25, and we were still trying to figure things out. And it was tough, just learning when you had a fever, when you got hurt or something like that. It was just hard to kind of handle and deal with. And that was kind of the first thing of just becoming a parent and trying to figure things out and not knowing things and just fearing, like, what do we do? Just trying to figure stuff out.
How was school for you throughout elementary to college?
School for me through elementary and college regarding stress, it was tough. Gonna overshare here, but grandma came to this country on a work visa when I was two and left me in Peru from the age of 2 to 6. And grandma worked really hard to get her papers and stuff, and then she brought me here. And I kind of resented grandma a little bit for leaving, but it was tough. I didn't know at the time because I was young, but obviously now that I'm here, I mean, grandma took the brunt of it because she was older and I was young. I didn't know better. But when I got here, it was tough because when I got here, I didn't know English. So grandma put me in bilingual school for like a year and a half. And then we made the decision together to put me in a class where they spoke English. We went to a Catholic school from fourth grade all the way up to 12th grade. Fourth through eighth, I was in St. Teresa school, and it was tough. I wasn't getting good grades because I didn't know the language, and I would sit through the standardized tests and just kind of guess, and it was a lot for me. And then in high school, I felt like I found myself a little bit more, just learning a little more English and being able to express myself a little bit better. I went to Cathedral Prep, which was a seminary school, and where you kind of study to be a priest. And I was there for 2 years, and I learned a lot. I was very gifted in math, but English and all the other courses kind of was tough for me. My freshman year was tough. Then going into my sophomore year, the assistant principal saw that I could do more, and they put me in honor courses, and that kind of catapulted me to be a better student. And then when you go into your junior year in the school, you have to sign a paper saying you still want to be a priest. And I didn't want to be a hypocrite and stay in a school saying I wanted to be a priest, and I didn't want to. So grandma put me in Monsignor McClancy Memorial High School, another old boys school, where I felt like I was able to find my identity a little bit more, just because I was more fluent. I found friends who had common interest and just kind of got along. And then I went to college, and then found more things I had in common. I learned how to be more active. I learned how to swim in college. I learned how to do track and field. I never did sports till I got to college, and it was just a tough adjustment from elementary school through high school. But then in college, I felt like I found myself a little bit more, and that's where I met mommy too. So I think everything from there just kind of got happier. It was tough, but I feel like elementary school, a lot of stress, but I was happy.
So how was it adjusting when you moved to America?
Well, I mentioned a little bit through the elementary. It was tough. I mean, obviously, it was a tough adjustment. I needed to find friends, and again, with common interest, and I try to not take myself too. I didn't really take myself too serious, which I think helped me out a lot. But I still was stressed out. But moving to America was hard, but I was happy because I was with grandma, and it was just good, just having my mom back and just kind of having to figure stuff out.
Um, Aside from making a list, how do you deal with stress?
Well, aside from making a list to deal with the stress, you also have to do things that kind of get you out of stress. So, what I try to do is try to do something for myself, something where I find 30 minutes to maybe an hour through the day, whether I break it up or I do all at once, where I do something for myself. Obviously, I'm very fortunate because I work for a service academy, so we are encouraged to stay fit. So we do have time at work where we get to work out. So I try to carve out an hour or so to work out, whether it's Olympic weightlifting, some CrossFit, some swimming, some running, or working with the special operation guys at the school and just kind of doing some hard workouts. And that at least gives me a lot of joy, just being able to accomplish something hard and finishing it. At least for me, that helps me through my day. I feel like when I don't work out, it's tough on me. I just feel like I have too much energy, and I think working out definitely helps, baby. Where we at? Number 8.
Does your overall schedule bring you stress?
I mean, yeah, who doesn't? You look at the things you have to do for the day, and you're like, whoa, how am I going to get this done? How do I get moving? I mean, first thing I try to do is make the bed. It's kind of silly, but at least I got one task done. And then whether it's making you guys breakfast, another task, and so on and so on. Like just making sure you guys get out the door on time. It could be stressful, but you try to get up at the same time. You try to be more disciplined what you're doing, and it kind of leads you to good behavior. So once you're disciplined, you're actually more free, even though it feels like you're just kind of stuck. Gives you more freedom because hey, from this time to this time I have to do this. From this time to this time I got to do this. From this time I go to work. From this time I do this, and all this stuff, and just even though work gives you stress, it's just you try to focus on what you can control. So at work, focus on work. If you're at home, can't really focus on work because work stuff is work. And at work, you can't focus on home stuff because you're not at home or you're not. Let's say you need something at school, I can't get there. So we try to figure out a way where we try to assist But overall, yeah, I mean, overall, my schedule does bring me stress, but as long as you figure out what you're doing and you kind of move forward, it's not like it used to be. But once you get used to it, kind of don't call it a stress anymore.
So, do you think that your younger self would have seen you here?
Like where I'm at in life? Oh God, no, I don't think so. I mean, to be honest with you, it's even Grandma herself right now could picture where we are or what we've accomplished as a family. Even with mommy accomplishing having two daughters who do so much and have so many opportunities. You know, no, I couldn't have pictured it. I've been just lucky to just had a great mom, a great dad, a lot of teachers, a lot of mentors and coaches who believed in me. I just was fortunate, and I think what's really helped me was just being curious and trying to learn a lot. But no, I mean, as you get older, you'll develop your personality and you'll find things. But one thing that has helped me was just seeking knowledge, and that didn't really kick in until after high school. And to be honest with you, no, couldn't have seen myself where I am now, and it's a blown away bit.
What advice would you give your younger self?
That's tough. I mean, that's it's. I mean, I said at the beginning, it's like worry about what you can control and find positive people to be around with. I mean, your friends kind of dictate the person you are. So if you have a lot of friends who kind of like get stressed out a lot, and you happen to be, the the right mindset, if they're really your friends, you're gonna do the best to guide them out of that situation, or just like, hey, let's talk about something more positive, or like, hey, you can't control that. Let's listen to them. Obviously, you don't want to say that their feelings don't matter because their feelings are important, but try to find people that have like a positive mindset or who just want to move forward with their lives and just want to get after it. Just trying to get things done and just doing it the right way while still having fun. And you're gonna go through school and you're gonna see a lot of that. So I mean, just best thing you could tell yourself is worry about what you can control, find positive people, and anything you're going through with stress, it's going to pass. It's going to pass, and you're going to be on the other side of what you're dealing with, and you're going to be in a good place. Moving on to the
Okay, if you don't mind asking, I'm gonna ask you about the 10 of the 52 stress reducers you chose. So why did you choose number one?
well, number one, it says get up 15 minutes earlier in the morning. The inevitable morning mishaps will be less stressful. Even where I work, being on time means you're late, and being early means you're on time. And late's not even our vocabulary. I think it's always important to figure out how you can make extra time. You don't want to just be there on time. You want to be there early because it gives you a second to kind of you're rushing to a place or what you're doing or whatever task you're doing, and you don't want to just get there and kind of turn on. You want to take a second, take a breather, and then it kind of brings it down. So that's why I picked number one.
So why did you choose number two, though?
Okay. Number two, well, when we were looking through it, I mean, it's kind of funny. These numbers, we kind of went down the list, but prepare for the morning and evening before. Set the breakfast table, make lunches to put out and clothes to plan and wear. Um, I meal prep. I get all my meals done early and I meal prep. Like you notice, I make steak for the week and I make chicken for the week. And the only thing I get up in the morning to kind of do fresh is boiled eggs because currently I'm on carnivore. But just kind of, and for work, luckily, I kind of wear a uniform. So it's just like a white t shirt and pants and just go to work and then change when I get to work. So it's easy. But for the most part, I think we kind of have a pretty good schedule on what you're eating and what you're not eating. So it's easy to do and we're kind of used to it. So just preparing the night before, making sure the dishes are done so that there's no mess, making sure the kitchen and the counter are clear, making sure it just helps out.
So what is your main priority for number two? Like, what do you prep for the most?
Just my meals. I think my meals take a long time, and as you know, right now I'm just having breakfast around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and lunch around 3, and dinner around 5. So just kind of a shorter window. So I don't really waste time. So I think meal prepping is what I do mostly, and just obviously Lucy has pancakes, or you have French toast in the morning. So those are easy things, and I kind of have it down to a science when I make that. I'm like, all right, this is gonna take this long, so it's not that bad.
So when you mean don't rely on your memory and write things down for number three, what do you specifically do for yourself?
Well, I picked number 3 because I don't rely. I rely on my memory. Sometimes I'll send myself like a quick email, like make sure you do this. Aside from my tasks, when I'm at work or even at home. I mean, right now we're surrounded by post-its because that's kind of how we live our life. I mean, we have so many post-its because it's easier to kind of just you do a post-it, you put it on a wall, and you don't take it down until you're done. I also do a notebook. I do have a notebook. When I write things in a notebook, they're more like things that I need to keep records of and just keep an eye on, and just can go back. I put a date on stuff so that I know when I go back, but I try to go back like a week and see if it's something that I need to keep doing. I just keep rewriting it on the notebook. If it's super duper important, I need to keep track of. But I like writing everything down. And same thing with appointments. Like let's say like I call recruits, right? So sometimes I have to call 3 recruits. I'll say set a timer for 4 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock hits. Then I go back to my notes, and I got to call somebody at 4 or 6, and so on and so on. Or just a reminder, like I need to go check something at work or like whatever. So
So does number three kind of link to 11 when you say allow 15 minutes of extra time to get to appointments?
well, I think you're referring to number 1, which is get up 15 minutes earlier. That kind of correlates with number 11, which is allow 15 minutes extra time to get to appointments. Yeah, I mean, yeah, mostly the airport. I think that's the big one. I mean, we always get to appointments in time. When we go to service, we try to leave early so we can make sure we get to church before anything is going. We get the nice pew that we normally sit at. I mostly think about airports. Um, One thing that definitely does has helped was getting TSA approved, which means you go on a different line, which goes from an hour to 15 minutes. So I took that extra time and made the appointment to go get that stuff, as well as trying to get there early. You don't want to have an hour before your flight is boarding, and then you just got through the gate, and you're like, oh, not through the gate, but you're getting checked. That could take 15 minutes to 2 hours. So like arriving early at the airport is a big one for me. But getting TSA pre-check and having all my government IDs kind of helps a lot. So it kind of lets me get through the line a little bit more.
So in 17, when it says saying no to extra projects and social activities, what was one of the main ones you already have said no to?
All right. So at work, we all have our things. I mean, I'm just gonna relate that one to work more than anything. I mean, I think I say yeah. If somebody asks me for help, I do help out. But you try at work. I try to be proactive. So there are things and projects that not only that I have to do, but that some people have left work, and we have like a gap. And as opposed to getting it assigned from somebody, I kind of just go up to the athletic director, it's like, hey, I see that we need to do this soon. You mind if I do it? And by volunteering, I'm ahead of the curve as opposed to being told to do. Maybe there's another project that I don't want to do, or I get volunteered to do something that I may not be interested. If I volunteer to do other things that I know that I like to do and that I could do a very good job, and traditionally it goes well for me, when they ask me to do something, I could say, hey, I'm not doing that at work. And when it comes to like more of a social activities, if hey, let's go out, I'm like, no, tomorrow I gotta wake up at 6 in the morning because I have to go to work. Like it's okay to say no. You don't have to. Having a social life is important, but also making sure you get enough sleep and getting what you need done is important too. Because if you lack sleep the next day, it just kind of builds on another thing and another thing, and it's just hard. And just understanding that it's okay to say no, even to friends and family when it comes to social events, just because it could put a burden on the next day or the next couple of days. So
So for number 20, when you mean simplify, what do you simplify
okay,
specifically?
so number 20, it says simplify, simplify, simplify. What we know it as is called KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. And just look for its most simplest form of doing it. Let's find the base to the simplest thing you're doing. So, for example, oh, I'm going to do this workout where it requires me to run, do this. I'm like, just don't worry about that. Just go out there, and you don't have to plan something in order to do it. Just like, let's say the night before, it's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm like, I don't have to do that. I just know that tomorrow I'm going to work out. I just don't know when, but it's probably gonna be after lunch or before lunch, and I'm going to do it. Or, oh, I have this meeting. Oh, after the meeting, I'll work on this. I don't have to sit there and be like, hey, after the meeting, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and this. No, you know you have to work. You don't have to sit there and list it, because the more information you have, the more you're going to kind of stem off of and worry about, instead of focusing on the first thing that comes first. So kind of keeping it simple and stupid. Simplify, simplify, simplify.
So when you mean number 21 with make friends with non-worriers, if you make friends with someone and they become distressed, do you cut them off or do you help them?
No, so number 21 says make friends with non-worriers. Nothing can get you into bad habits. Worrying faster than associated with chronic worry warts. I mean, I think everybody worries, and it's okay. I think the hardest thing to do is to get out of that funk of just kind of worrying. It just happens. You know, you have your friends, you have your colleagues. There's people you can talk to. There's sometimes people just come to my office and want to talk, or mommy wants to talk, or something's going on, and maybe they just want to share. So you don't cut people off, but you listen. But there comes a point where, like, if they're coming to see you constantly, you kind of say, hey, you listen. It's important. They're not you're not supposed to solve their problems. You're supposed to just, as a friend, you're supposed to, as a colleague, as a friend, you listen. But we go back to saying no, like, not today, like, or it's like, it's not a good day. It's okay to say that, because you may not have space for them, and you don't want to overextend yourself. So you're gonna have friends who are going to do that, and it's okay. They're your friends. And then you're gonna have people who are worry warts, and you don't disassociate yourself. But if you feel like they're constantly being negative, you may just want to have a real conversation with them. Like, hey, listen, I understand you're going through a lot, but just it's a lot. I think let us or try to change the subject. Like, listen to them for a bit and try to talk about something positive. Don't derail them, but just listen to them talk about something positive. That's always tough, like, you don't want to dissociate yourself, but you want to give yourself a little distance from that person sometimes. Just like, hey, maybe we need a break. We don't have to talk every day. We talk every other day. So that's how I look at it sometimes.
So in 22, when it says get up and stretch periodically if your job requires that you sit for extended periods, what do you do?
All right, so
Sorry, what do you do
uh,
for you specifically?
I can, I think a mile a minute sometimes, honey. You've seen me. I try to get as much work done in a short period of time because it works for me. And but there comes a point where you're not getting any work done. So you just need to get up in fresh air. So what I traditionally try to do is, if I have a lot of work, I try to work and try to get stuff printed, because the printer's not near me. So I get as much as I can done, or try to finish. Or say, I'm going to do all of this. Then I'm going to go to the printer. Go to the printer, you run into people, you kind of have a quick conversation, 5 minutes, a little distress, and then you kind of walk back. So that's what I would call like a stretch. Or sometimes I go to the Navy Exchange, which is also on the academy grounds, and sometimes I do a little work, and then, hey, maybe I need a snack. Maybe I'll get cheese, or some beef jerky, or some drink or something, just to kind of get a walk in and out, especially when there's a lot of work. And sometimes you do work, and you type it all up and you need to take a break so you can look at it again, and then you start finding mistakes because you wrote really fast and you can't see it because you checked it like 10 times in the last minute. So stretching not only could only be just taking a walk to go do something else.
So for 24, when it says get enough sleep, and you said, do you set up alarm clocks to go to bed, or do you set up ones multiple times
um
reminding you like 5 minutes before?
I think my watch and my phone are set to like after 9 o'clock. I don't kind of get alerts, or even when I'm at home, like it's on personal, so like I don't really get alerts unless I check it. Uh, what's really helped me with getting enough sleep is that I wear this Whoop band, and it kind of just I monitor my sleep. I try to get 8 hours, so I'm gonna try to get to bed soon, and try to get at least 8 hours. If I don't, it's okay, but we strive for that. If we miss, we miss. But sleeping is important. It gives your brain a break. We could talk about REM and deep sleep and all this stuff, but sleep is important. If your brain doesn't get a rest, it's hard. So it's important that you get some sleep.
For 33, when it says live one day at a time, what do you mean by live one day at a time?
Um, live one day at a time. I like to say it's like you can't worry about something that's going to happen in a week unless it's like something you have to do for that week. Like you can look forward to things, but if you're worrying that when that gets, it's just too much. You just got to focus on being there, being present. Be present. People get stuck in the present, or I mean, people get stuck in the past, or they get stuck in the future. Just live one day at a time. Be present. Enjoy what you have, and just understand that if you just focus on what's in front of you and